Hey everyone, it's Tenja. Let's take a look at what we have going for the week of November 15th to November 21st in World of Warcraft. And my gosh, there is so much going on right now. I'm going to find myself having a very packed week. Let's start with the 18-year anniversary event first. It's still going, so if you haven't got to it, you can still get over there and knock out the Doomwalker. He's just outside the Caverns of Time, and killing him will reward you with the Illidari Doomhawk. This is a 100% drop chance mount, and after doing that, you can still queue up for Korak's Revenge and earn the Alterac Valley of the Old achievement. And in doing so, you can earn yourself the Stormpike Battle Realm of your Alliance and the Frostwolf Snarler of your Horde. All three raids again this week will be fated: Castle Nathria, Sanctum of Domination, and Sepulchre of the first one. So if you haven't found a group for Jigglethor Senior yet, don't give up, you still have time. Get out there and get it done. The weekly quest this week is going to be the Battleground bonus event. If you do this, you'll earn yourself some extra honor. Again, I don't mess with PvP very often, but I may give it a shot or two this week and see what happens. And speaking of weekly PvP, the weekly PvP brawl is South Shore versus Terran Mill. I haven't done this in a long time, but I remember when it first started, it was open world. My entire guild would get together, we would form a few raid groups, we would head up there, and just push back and forth with the Horde. It was very fun, so it may be worth trying to see if it's still as fun as it used to be. Pushing on, our Mythic Plus affixes this week are Bursting, Fortified, and Storming. With Bursting, when slain, non-boss enemies explode, causing all players to suffer damage over 4 seconds, and this effect stacks. With Fortified, non-boss enemies have 20% more health and inflict up to 30% increased damage. And with Storming, while in combat, enemies periodically summon damaging whirlwinds. This doesn't sound terrible, but finally, we're going to push on because we have the pre-patch Phase 2 event started. This will give us combat events, and there is a little bit of stuff we can do here. The first thing we can do is build Drakthir Invokers, but if this is your first thing you do, it'll probably be a pretty slow process. I checked these out on the beta, and I felt very overwhelmed by the amount of options for the Visage and for the human form that they had. So don't think to yourself you're going to sit down and build one in 5 minutes. It'll probably take an hour or two just to get one that you like and are willing to mess with. I do plan to build one, but it's something I'm going to do later on. I'm going to check the other stuff out before I go messing with these because I know it's going to be sitting in the character customization screen for quite a while. The next thing we have going is a special instance which is redesigned. It's Ultimate. This will probably be the first thing I check out. I don't know much about it, and I haven't read up on it, so I'd like to see what it's like and see what items drop that are of any use to me. Also, we're getting Elemental Storms. These are basically invasions we've seen from the pre-patch events through the years. Normally doing these level your character up pretty fast, so I'm not sure how these ones work this year. I haven't read a lot about them. But my plan is to park an alt at each of the 4 spawn locations, and that way when one pops up I just switch over to that character. That should keep me from running around all day, and I can farm up all the armors. But for me this week in World of Warcraft, I did get all 11 of my mount farms done like normal. I managed to finish up a few transmog sets on my alts, and I ran so much time walking. Just to give you an idea, I'm now at 2,521 attempts on the Infinite Time Reaver. And even though I didn't see it drop, I did get a few items for some of my alts. And in between my time walking marathon, I did hit Antorus the Burning Throne. I got my 34th attempt done for the Sword, the Scythe, and the Shackled Ursul. I didn't see it drop this week for myself or any of my party members, so maybe next week could treat us better. After I finished that up, I headed over to Mythic Nighthold, and I got my 24th attempt on the Hellfire Inferno done. But again, I still didn't see it drop. And I'm really glad they have the skip so I can just go to the last 2 bosses in that place. Makes it so much easier. After that, I headed to Northrend. I went over to Uldir and got my 18th attempt on Memram's head. I didn't have any luck getting the mount, but again, I did get a few more transmog pieces, and I still have a lot out of there I can get. So after that, I headed over to my garrison, flew up to Blackrock Foundry, got my 67th attempt for the Ironhoof Destroyer. I'm in that range where it should be dropping, so I'd like to see it drop pretty soon because it's a pretty cool mount, and I really can't wait to get it, but this week wasn't my week to get it. So with most of my big raids done, I headed over to Battle for Azeroth and knocked out the 5-man mythics again. Of course, I went over to Freehold first. It's closest to Paralis. And I got my 25th attempt done for the Red Parrot Sharkbait, but again he was being stingy and didn't want to drop it. So I went back to Paralis, headed over to King's Rest, and got my 17th attempt on the Tombstalker, but he was being stingy too because he didn't want to drop anything. So with all that done, I figured I'd go do my Pandaren World bosses. I got attempt number 544 on the Son of Gaian. I got attempt number 172 on the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent. I got attempt number 148 on the Cobalt Primordial Direhorn. And finally, I got attempt number 196 on the Thundering Cobalt Cloud Serpent. But with the drop rates so low on these guys, I didn't see any of the mounts off them either this week. And normally this would be the part where I go do my Siege of Orgrimmar for the Tusk of Manaroth, but doing so much time walking really took it out of the equation this week. So the last thing I really got done was my Tomb of Sargeras, trying for the Abyss Worm. I did my 12 characters again this week in there, so that gave me attempts number 94 to 105. So let's take a quick look at them, and I'll see you on the other side.
With power, face the might that lurks beneath the waves. I failed my queen. Face the might that lurks beneath the waves. Such a death is. Dignity! Face the might that lurks beneath the waves! Such a death is beneath the waves!
So after 105 attempts, I still don't have the mount, but this still feels way better than Dragon Soul, and I'm guessing it's because I'm getting transmog for my ults. So if you're wondering, this week I'm wearing another old set. This is the Warrior set from Trial of the Crusader. It's the Ren battle gear. It's super easy to get. You just have to run Trial of the Crusader over and over and over till you have all of it. Some of it doesn't like to drop. The belt was giving me a pretty hard time, and I want to say the gloves. Besides that, it wasn't too bad. And it really doesn't look all that bad. But hey, if you had some good luck this week, tell me about it in the comments section. I like to hear about it. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. You can click on subscribe. Thanks for coming by and watching it. I'd like to send a hi out to my best friend, and y'all take care.